Welcome in. Welcome in. How's it going, guys? How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's having a good day. Trippin' McBalls, welcome back, dude. Haven't seen you in a couple months. How's everybody doing today? Miss Tonya, how's it going, dude? I hope you're having a good day. Rooted, what's up, dude? How's everybody doing? We're just getting logged on here for some crazy Saturday. We're vibing with the wild energy, so if you want to come get in on this, have fun. Have fun. How's everybody doing today? What's up? What's up? Aw, thank you for the compliment. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday, dude. It's gonna be so much fun. How's everybody doing today? I hope we're all surviving the chaos in the collective and just doing our best to stay balanced. Do not let others affect you. Welcome in, D Fairy. Welcome in. How's everybody doing today? It's been a wild day. Getting a lot done, a lot of realizations, a lot of things checked off the list. I hope you guys have been as productive. Chilling. Welcome in, Miss K. Chilling. We know you are. Dude, you know, it's been wild. It's been good energy, dude. And I know everyone's going crazy right now, and I know, you know, things are winding up in people's spaces, but I'll tell you what, it's almost been kind of the opposite over here. I don't know if we're just all being super protected right now, but this is kind of like super mellow and almost too still. Melissa, welcome in. It's almost like too still. Like I'm like, is the energy moving? I don't know if it's moving so quickly that it's like coming to like almost a standstill point or what, but it's like almost chaotic. It's like fast forward movement, yes, and things are materializing very quickly, and people's manifestations are coming to life, and cycles are repeating, and like things are coming to a precipice energy in a lot of spaces, especially for healing and self-worth and choosing self, and of course. But it's like the energy's going so fast, it's like it's not moving. Like when you spin that quarter on the table, and then all of a sudden the only kind of like face that you see is the tail. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like that kind of an energy, but it just feels kind of calm. And I feel like if you're in the precipice point to where you're feeling calmness, I want to say you're understanding the assignment, because the assignment is balance and alchemizing outside energy and using it to it best serves you. It's that transmutation. It's flipping it around. You know what I mean? We're going nowhere fast. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of things that have been picking up in a lot of people's spaces. Like things are starting to have a faster maybe turnaround time is the way that I want to say it. Like a faster turnaround time. Whereas some people might have like had things happen over a series of weeks. Welcome in, Jose. Over a series of weeks, it's almost like now it's happening within a couple of days. Where things took a couple days, now it's like hours. Where things took hours, now it's like minutes. I have so many people that are like messaging me and hitting me up and commenting on things that are just like, oh yeah, you never believe I just said this and I turned around and there it was. It's like that type of a fast. Yeah, it's that type of a fast, for sure. But I feel like energetically, yeah, we're coming into Aries season. Of course, things are going to be fire, flame, quick movement, you know, but I don't know, just saying. All good things, though. Welcome in, guys. I hope we're all having fun today. The list is open, and we're giving back to my subscribers because, hey, I feel like I haven't done that, and I feel bad. So today is 12:22 for my subscribers, and for my non-subscribers, it's 15:55. We have Cash App, we have Venmo. The lists are open. So feel free to jump on the list and we'll get right down to it. I'm going to toss a real quick collective and we're going to get rolling. I'm going to be on here for 8:58 on the clock. Palindromes, thank you, team. 8:58 on the clock. We're going to be on here for maybe like an hour and a half. We'll just see how the energy goes, man, you know? I'm game to be here as long as they tell me to be, so no rushing out tonight. So go ahead, get on that list. I just feel like people could use some good times, you know? If you guys have collective questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section and we will literally, we'll handle it. Like, we'll answer them. Just keep in mind, collective questions don't require me to feel into you. They're just more general topics or something like that, you know? Spiritual questions or whatever. Or healing questions. Healing questions are cool too. You know? And as always, anybody in my room... Ooh, earring. Anybody in my room is always welcome to share a win. So if you feel like you want to hurrah yourself or give yourself a high five or a pat on the back, go ahead and do it. You know, use that comment section. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. You know what I'm saying? If you're new here, say hi. We're building more than just paid reads. We're building community, so feel free to have fun. Say hi. And I will pop off with this collective. Lists are open. 12:22 for my subscribers and 15:55. Bleh, tongue twister for my non-subscribers. Let's do this. Let's do this. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, we can all just take a back seat because it's a lovey-dovey message, so I'm so sorry up front, but my false lovers, take a step back. My false lovers take a step back. The people who are in a rocky relationship, and I mean the people who know it's a rocky relationship, the people who know it's no good for them, the people who have been ignoring the red flags. No judge, we have all ignored red flags in our life at one point or another. But they're saying it's part of the cycles that is you. It's part of the cycles that is you, and they're just talking about the collective needing to kind of gather up some strength right here. I had this Hierophant card out here paired with this Queen of Swords energy, and it makes me feel like your truth is right in front of your face. That's the way I want to say it. Your truth is right in front of your face, and you know what you need to do. And that's why I got the Chariot out here. You know what you need to do. I feel like the Hierophant to me is more like that. Know better, do better. To me, it's more of that I've learned my lesson kind of a thing. I got this 10 of coins out here as a bridge and the 2 of wands, and I feel like your choice in how you move determines whether or not you reach what you're hoping to reach for, because I feel like it's a hope, because I feel like the energy tank's a little dry. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you've been beating your head against the wall over and over and over again. You've been trying to do all this work and all this whatever, and you just seem like you feel like you can't go anywhere. That's the way I want to say it. It's like you're not going anywhere. And I feel like you spend half of the energy trying to defend yourself, and it's like the other half is spent on worry or fear about changing or doing something different. It's almost like the fear if you're wrong, the fear if you leave, the fear if you fall on your face. There's just so much fear here. I feel like they're asking you to kind of stick with determination over fear. As the Courage card was flipped upside down in the deck, I just feel like somebody's regaining this strength, and like I want to almost call it the cultivation of their energy. Like how I split the deck on strength and temperance. I don't know how many times courage and strength is going to come out here so far. That's 3 times 3 decks. But they're just talking about how you utilize your energy and what you choose to do with it. I feel like you have the tools. I feel like that's part of this magician, this high priestess energy. It's like you have the tools and you are connected. And I feel like they're pulling me back to your intuition. And then with this Queen of Swords back here, back to your connection, back to your mind, back to your mental. And it just makes me feel like you have the truth of intuition. That's the way I want to say it. You have the truth of intuition at your disposal. And they're just asking you to stop battling it. It doesn't get any more clearer. Does not get any more clearer than your intuition. It does not get any more clearer when the things that you see, the strength card actually fell out now. It doesn't get any more clear when the things that you are thinking or you see red flags happen in your physical. It's almost like I don't have my foresight card out here, but it's making me feel like you're seeing it before it's happened because you're reading the pattern. That's the way I want to say it. You're seeing it before it happens because you read the pattern. And it's like you're just bridging out of the conflict within self and you're moving to something else. And I'm telling you, the second you hit that completion, that joy, that confident stage of my sun card, of my fiery lion card, is literally, it makes me feel as though that's when everything gets spun up for you. That's when everything just quickens up. And that's when we get back into friendship. That's when we get back into collaboration. That's where we move out of stagnancy, because there's just something here that makes me feel as though, King, Sir, makes me feel as though the masculine energy is battling themselves right now. And it just makes me feel like when you find the balance within self is when it spins again for you. It just makes me feel as though when you choose you is when things start to come together. And we got another Temperance card. Oh my goodness. They're just asking you to look inward. Your answers are there. It's like someone's just ignoring it. It's like your answers are right there. You don't need anybody else to help you. It's right in front of you is the way that it's coming out here. And I want to say that you see it. I want to say you see all the truths in front of you, whether it's a person, a place, a space. There's just a part and a piece of breaking cycles that is very clear to you. It is very clear to you now is the way that I want to say it, because it's right in front of your face. But what you just still might be lacking, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but what you might be lacking is that little nudge, that little push of strength, that little push of courage to put what you see into action. It's out here as a bridge, your gaining of courage. It's out here as a bridge of your ending to conflict. It's out here as courage of you taking that step forward and creating the life that you actually want, creating the destiny, the desire that you actually have. And I feel like it's coming to an end. I feel like it's coming to an end, but they're kind of just putting it back in your court. They're kind of just saying, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what choices, what steps are you gonna make? And it's not gonna be easy. We got this Hangman card out here right now, and I feel like that's where you sit. You sit almost in a little bit of stagnation, because it's like you're pausing, but you're almost pausing a little too long, is the way that I want to say it. It's not bad, the pause. They're not calling it like a hindrance just yet. It just makes me feel like you're still gathering. That's the way that I want to say it. Like, I feel like you're still gathering your thoughts, you're still gathering your wits, you're still gathering your truths, and you're running them past what I call your bullshit detector, which is your intuition, right? Your feelers, your gut, and you're just running everything back. That's why I feel like I have my replay card, and I feel as though the number one thing that's getting triggered right now for this part of the collective is their feelings. The number one thing that's getting triggered right now is their emotions, their energy and motion. Because internally you're starting to put movement into the energy, right? We're starting to review, we're starting to sort through things. It's only a matter of time before that ripple effect happens in the 3D, before that ripple effect happens as a reflection outside of ourselves, happens in actually the way we choose to make things move, and the people we choose to be around, and the places and spaces we put ourselves in, and the decisions that we make. And they're just talking about this ripple effect is currently taking place. That's the way they're saying it. So I got my Knight of Coins out here, my Knight of Cups, and it just makes me feel like it's slow and steady, emotionally charged movement. Slow and steady, emotionally charged movement towards the rebirth of something new, which is your completion. And I feel like that just pulls me back to that Hierophant of this, that lesson learned. Because this right here has nothing to do with the other person. Don't get it twisted. Is the way they're saying it. It has nothing to do with the physical person. It has nothing to do with the physical place. It has everything to do with you. That's why everything is all about your inner struggle, your inner conflict, your strength, your courage, mustering up the facts about what you want to do and how you're going to work in your inner truth and your spiritual searching and your strength and your awakening. It has everything to do with you. So don't turn the focus of the lens on anybody else but you, because this is your worth season. This is your self-love season. This is your healing season. This is where you choose you above all else. And this is part of your know better, do better. This is part of completing the cycle, is that you can no longer put yourself dead last. You can no longer manipulate, morph, and adopt things that do not suit you, do not vibe with you, do not, resonate with you or your soul or what you have going on or your plans for the future. There's just something here about setting yourself free on the inside in order for the ripple effect to have an effect on the outside, is the way that they're saying it. So you might be a little bit pent up. You might be a little bit kept away, locked in. I'm not even going to call it a hermit mode, because it really doesn't feel like that. It feels like an espresso depresso. Like, it feels like you've shut yourself away. It doesn't feel like something 9:09 on the clock. It doesn't feel like something that's like, oh yeah, we're doing all this stuff. No, like, you're looking back now, but the months leading up to it, you were just a shut-in. Like, that, you were just choosing to do other things. You were choosing to give to yourself less. You were choosing to care about yourself less. You were choosing to put yourself last. And now they're just talking about how we're moving out of that. We're moving completely out of that into a completely revamped energy, is the way it feels. But you're still at a bridge. You got to come to terms with some things on the inside, and this is this quarrel. I'm going to be honest. Me and Keys say it all the time, and I feel like they're pulling me back to it. The truth defends itself. And that's also the case with the truth inside of you. You do not need to defend or argue the truth inside of you. It just is. And when it hits you, and there's no inner dialogue that needs to take place. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, guys. I hope everyone's having a good day, a good Saturday. We are going to scroll back through these comments. The list is open. If you would like a read, we'll get right down to it. We could do a question, we can do a topic, or we could just do a general and see what they got going on for you. Any of that is fine, and we can do all of that. That is not a problem. Today it's subscriber day, so whoop whoop, my subscribers. It is 12:22 for reads, and my non-subscribers, it is 15:55. So if you would like a read, we have Cash App and we have Venmo. And just make sure you come back in. You let us know that you donated, so I can check those spaces so we don't miss you on the list. But I'm going to scroll back through these comments, and I'm just going to see what everyone's doing. If you're new here, feel free to say hello in the comments section. We welcome you in. Keep in mind, if you guys have collective questions, you can always drop them down and we'll chit chat about them. We will go over them 1,000%. No worries. We're doing all of that today. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm trying to scroll back up. Oh my goodness. Welcome in, Miss Melissa. Patricia, welcome in. I'm doing amazing. I hope you're doing amazing, Indigenous Witch. It's like on my shirt. Desiree. It's so hard to see. Welcome in, welcome in. Nella. Hey. How's it going? Nice to see you. Thank you so much for the subscription, Indigenous. Thank you. Much love, dude. Thanks for the support, bro. Do it, B. That's fantastic. Welcome in. Dead center in front. 1,000%. Everything's coming to a head right now. You know? And I feel like a lot of people, like we talked about before, the room got like busy, you know what I mean? But like a lot of people right now are complaining about the chaos energy and the this, but there's a whole nother side of the collective that their team has them super protected. There's a whole nother side of the collective that your team has you almost on lockdown. And I want to tell you, you're the part of the collective that is either super good at transmuting energy and you do it naturally, you do it in your sleep, doesn't take that much, or you have super good spiritual practices to where you're like, that's not mine, and you like release and let live, you know? And then there's like that other part, like you might be feeling calm right now. You might be feeling like it's like a pause and all the craziness, you know? So if that is you, don't worry, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, not everybody is having their whole life falling apart right now. Okay, Miss Tonya, I see you. I will check in just a minute. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose, Leo. I don't know why I was staring at the screen and my mouth couldn't make the words. My feelings are hella triggered. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thanks for the duck. Thank you for the ducky. There's a lot of people. Don't worry. There's a lot of people. Hello, my name is Wendy. My New York ex still love me. So I won't be able to feel on somebody else's energy without their permission, but I can do like a love relationship read for you if you would like one. We can do that, but it would be like in your highest greatest good. Either what do you have coming in, or, you know, what do you need to know about that relationship or something like that. And we can do it as a paid read, but I just can't pull on like what he's going to decide or his free will or something like that. Welcome in, Miss Rebecca. Penny, thanks for the dog. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So collective question. Do you go through a period in the awakening process where you feel empty? Awakening, no. Healing, yes. Awakening, no. Healing, yes. And some people blend those two together. But the emptiness and the thing, that's not like an awakening thing. Even though some people do both of their journeys together, it's actually part of your healing journey. Which arguably is step one to awakening. But a lot of people think awakening, they think more abilities. And that's usually more core, like, chakra, shadow work, like, kind of a process. You know? Do not be mean to me. Do not be mean to me. It's okay, but you gotta understand, Miss K, you didn't get this way overnight, right? Like, you had a whole life you lived. So you're not gonna fix it overnight either. And sometimes there's a process, especially when it comes to energy, of filtering, right? Just because we have one good cry or one good whatever doesn't mean we've unpacked 30, 40 years of pent-up stuff. You know, so we gotta keep it in perspective. And just because you did that and you don't feel amazingly better the next day doesn't mean you didn't do anything. You gotta show yourself some grace, you know? I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to check spaces. The list is open. We are doing 1222 for my subscribers today, and we are doing 1555. I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. All right, Miss Tonya. Am I back? Am I back? Oh, you have a great night too, dude. Use this energy, bro. Use this energy. This is perfect energy for finding oneself. Use this energy. You know? All right, Miss Tonya. Do you have any questions? Or do you have a topic or anything that you would like felt into? I remember, I lost my mind. Are we just doing a general? Or you think you got like a question? Highest good? Okay. What do you need to know for your highest grade is good? Ooh, okay. What do you need to know for your highest grade is good? Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. Miss Tonya. Can you do me a favor? Can you take like 1 or 2 big breaths and kind of let your guard down a little bit? And I mean that in the best way possible. I mean your energetic guard, not your emotional one. I feel like your your guides are protective over you right now. So I just need to be like let in just like a little bit. Just a little bit. Just take a couple deep breaths and just kind of put the intention out there, like, you know, you're gonna get a read and they could, you know, ease up for a second. Like, you give me permission kind of deal. I just feel like they have you currently like shielded. Like, they don't want you knocked off your square for nothing right now. Like, that's the way it comes off energetically. Like, they don't want you knocked off your square, your bicycle, or nothing right now. And they just have you like, whoosh. I have a question. Are you watching everybody go crazy? Or the spiral of energy, and you just sitting over here like, hey, and almost I don't want to say unfazed, but almost like, unless someone's directly in contact with you, you kind of living your best life. Like, that's the way that that I want to say that. I'm gonna tell you, I want to say that's like, I want to tell you that's good. That's the way that I want to say it. Alright, here we go, Miss Tonya. Alright. How good's your life been right now? Because I really feel like your life's doing some nice things. Like, almost like you spun it up, you wound it up, and it almost makes me feel like, I feel like pieces are starting to come together, although I feel like it's almost kind of troublesome in a weird way, because I want to tell you it's not something that you're typically used to. And I mean that in the best way. Like, almost it might be a little bit too calm, and it might be you might be finding a little bit too much balance, to where to you it might feel kind of dull, or almost like, okay, but what's next? And you're kind of like searching for the next thing, because I almost want to tell you that you've done a deep dive. Like, I almost want to tell you that you've done it already. I want to tell you that you've gone inside, and you've been someone who's kind of pulled up a decent amount of strength and like self-awareness, self-preservation, self-whatever. And I feel like you've done the work, and I feel like right now they have you so protected, because I feel like they don't want anything to affect what you've already put into motion, is the way that I want to say it. As far as energy goes, and far as energy goes with dealing with yourself, because it almost feels like I want to tell you, like, you're on the precipice of finding your peace. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. You're almost on the precipice of finding your peace, and because of that, I feel like they are like, shh. and they're like, they don't want anything to ruin, you know, we can't really mess anything up, but they're just super cautious of where your energy goes right now because they don't want anything to interfere with what you're already bringing in, because I really truly feel like right now you're like right there to receiving. You're right there, and I feel like it's coming in fast. I feel like your progress is coming in super, super fast. Now, they're leading me towards the heart space, and they are talking about how there's just like one thing in your heart center that you don't really want to unpack. Maybe you kind of unpack the edges of it, and we're like, okay, we're all good now. I feel like they're pausing and they're commending you for all of this that you've done, all this accomplishment, all of this kind of diving deep and everything that you have unpacked, but you asked for your greatest, highest good. And that's the way they're saying it. You asked for your greatest, highest good. And I feel like they're like, there is just a little bit of hurt, pain, unsettledness in the heart chakra that they're saying if you wanted to kind of go back and look at it, it would do you good to go ahead and actually unpack the scary thing, actually unpack some of the grief, some of the pain, some of the hurt and heartache that is still left there, but they're not taking away from what you've already done. That's the way that I want to say it. They're not taking away from what you've done, but they're just saying you asked, and you're not completely open, you're not completely cleared out, you're not completely, and they're just talking about how it's inevitable. You're going to get to it anyway, so you can choose to do it now or choose to do it later, is the way that they're kind of talking about it. Now, I did just have a King of Wands hit my table. So that could have something to do with the heart space energy. It could be, as I split the deck on the Ten of Wands, it could be a little bit of that burden of an unhealed masculine, because it is coming out here not quite upright, kind of wonky. But it makes me feel like this is paired with this Tower here, going round and around sometimes. And they're just kind of feel like they're talking about how you put so much work into coming out of a stress. Because I feel like they're kind of lending to the idea that you've put in a lot of work to kind of take and pull yourself out of like the mental burden, the mental stress, and like the going around of almost feeling trapped, stuck, isolated, but almost within self. Like they're not even talking about like a physical reality or location or like relationship. No, like I feel like this is more to the relationship with self here, this fear, this anxiety, this stress level, and it just makes me feel like you've put a decent amount of work in there. And I literally, as we said at confirmation, Hermit card, you've put a decent amount of work in there, is the way that they're saying it. So they're actually commending you, and I feel like I hear this feminine voice in the background, and I'm not sure if they're just kind of mocking you in a fun way, but they're just kind of talking about how, like, I've been trying to be positive, like, in like a really girly voice, like, I've just been trying to be positive, and it's like super high. So I don't know if you've just been trying desperately in like a best way possible to hold on to that kind of, I want to say almost childlike wonder, or that like, I'm going to see the silver lining in everything perspective, and you've tried to kind of lead with that, is the way that I want to say it. And I feel like you've really been working hard, dude. I feel like you've been working hard with trying to kind of come out and not just see everything from what's wrong, but take the time to see everything from how it worked out correctly, is the way that I want to say, or what the pros were to that situation, is the way that I want to say it. Now, there's a little bit of speaking your mind that they're kind of asking you to do a little more of. They're kind of talking about how you're cautious with your words, which is good. You're not somebody who is really quick and hurts people with your words, currently, in your current energy. Split the Tower. You're not currently somebody who is cutting people down with your words, but they are talking about sometimes you close this throat chakra up just a little bit too much. I don't want to say to keep the peace, but they're making me feel like sometimes you kind of edit yourself and you kind of bite your tongue. And they're talking about part of this strength, part of this expression of self, part of this loving of self, part of this revelation, this new roundabout for you is actually opening up this throat chakra and speaking your piece, because they're talking about how you have the capability and you have the know-how to say it correctly. And I feel like they're calling you like a very practical, a very grounded, like, they're saying the word well-adjusted feminine. So it's not something out of your wheelhouse to say what you need to say in a polite way and in a nice way, but to where it's not dampening you, if that makes sense, to where it's not dampening you. And I feel like this is part of the burden. You're still holding on. I feel like the heart and the throat is still part of the burden that you carry. And it's just energetic burden, because we just keep piling on stuff and we keep stuffing stuff sometimes. And maybe we just don't really speak our piece and we don't really say it all. We don't really tell people how we feel and all this kind of stuff. And we don't allow certain pieces and parts of ourselves to be expressed. So when it comes to the heart space, this is one way that you're keeping yourself down. This is one way that you're not allowing yourself to be fully expressed. And they're just talking about re-bridging into your heart space and speaking more authentically to yourself, regardless of whether others like it, is what's going to seat you more as this balanced, emotionally charged feminine in a positive way. In a balanced, emotionally charged feminine, because they're kind of talking about how you're getting closer to being balanced, but you still hold the majority of your energy up in the mind space, which would be more in your masculine energy. And you're so much a thinker and a practical person that they almost want you to kind of start getting in touch with your feelings, and more so once your feelings, your intuition, because there's a part of this burden is just the burden of self. It's not a lot of burden around you right now. It's more the self burden, that inner burden that seems to be, they're calling it slowing you down. And I think they're talking more energetically than a physical pace here. I don't think it's anything more than energy, but when we don't have enough energy, we tend to slow ourselves down in the physical, right? Because we're drained, we're this, we don't have motivation, maybe we don't feel like we want to go somewhere or do something. So they're just kind of talking about how if you feel yourself drifting, if you feel your mind drifting to a little bit of old times, maybe I want to say it like old times, or random things start coming up for you in the next couple of days, I feel like this is kind of leading into decision time. Do you deal with it or do you not? And they're saying for your greatest, highest good right now, it would just behoove you to do it now. Because they're using the word inevitable. So it's not that you're never going to get to it. You are. So they're kind of like, we could do it. They're saying 2 months. We could do it 2 months down the road, or we can do it now. Excuse me. Transmutation. They're talking about how you have no need to hesitate. I don't know what necessarily you're hesitating about, but they're saying you have no need to hesitate. And I'm not quite sure if they're talking about this or a decision that you have to make, or maybe something's put in front of you, because I do have this Two of Wands down on the table, which makes me feel like you're kind of paused in a little bit of in a choice kind of option. But they're saying there's no need to hesitate. They're saying you already know what you want to do. about it, or you already know which way you're leaning. So they're saying go with it. They're not really elaborating on it. I really wish they would. They just keep saying you know what they're talking about. They just keep saying you know what you're talking about. Oh God, I hate that. I hate that. When we're not specific. When we're not specific, gentlemen. I just feel like there's something else here, though. Like, the energy just doesn't feel complete. Like, it doesn't feel done. It doesn't feel satisfied. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but let's see. I don't know. Something just doesn't... I don't know. I just feel like there's something else they're trying to get across. Okay. Okay. Duly noted. We'll take that one. I want to tell you your creativity is coming back online. And I want to tell you to follow it. Like, wholeheartedly follow it all the way. Like, do not stop. Do not stutter. Do not hesitate. Because there's something about what you're planning or what you're seeing in your mind's eye is the way that I want to say it. Like, there's something that is, like, brewing in there that I would put in the realm of creativity. But, label it however you want. But, like, it just makes me feel like you have, like, almost like this... I don't want to call it foresight, but it's like there's just something going on up there that is like, I almost want to call it like lighting your passionate like spark is the way that I want to say it. Like you get excited about it, or maybe it's just a dream and that's why they're calling it creativity, because you're kind of building it up in your mind. But there's something to do with this type of I'm going to call it a vision because I don't know what else to call it, but type of a vision that you currently have that directly links to your passions, like the passionate person that you are. And it's something about your continued spiral upward, your continued growth upward. And there's just something about this piece and this part of you putting yourself into whatever this building of a creation of a vision dream thing is. Oh, God, I wish they would give me better words. Like your team is being so vague today. Like, I don't understand why your team's being so vague. I don't know if they just don't want to spoil it, or, like, if there's too many ears. I don't understand what that's about, but I feel like your team's usually pretty specific, because I feel like I've read for you before, and I feel like your team's specific, but they're just being super vague today. But it just makes me feel like whatever this big envisioning thing is for you that you're seeing or building or creating in your mind's eye, it makes me feel like this is part of this spiral growth for you. And it makes me feel as though it, like, if you have zero idea what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. But, like, it makes me feel as though you just rediscovered this. Like, that's the way that I want to say it. It makes me feel like you just rediscovered this. Like, not long ago. Like, during this, like, self-improvement stage that you've been doing, it makes me feel like you kind of rekindled something. Like, that's the way that I like it. It's just this, like, little bit of, a passionate flame inside you, and they're just kind of showing it as, like, an ascension spiral, and it's making me feel as though this is conducive to your growth, because I feel like it pulls on your sparky energy. I feel like it pulls on some of your creativity and your feminism, which is exactly what they were just talking about with other cards before in a very loose term. But it really just makes me feel as though they're telling you to play with it, like to have fun playing with it, because there's just something about it being part of the shift for you specifically. Like, energetically inside you, it's part of your shift, part of your flip-flop. So if you're trying to get, like, I almost want to say like you're trying to get ahead of the ball, or like you're trying to like flip the table, turn the table, like my ear just rang. It just makes me feel like you're trying to like flip the script. I don't know how to make that make sense. but you're trying to shift the energies inside of you, and whatever this is key to shifting those energies. I hope that makes sense. I really wish that they would just give me a word to describe whatever this is that is lighting your passion. Like, I wish they would just give me a word. No, they're just all in time. That's so frustrating. All in time is so frustrating. Well, Miss Tonya, I feel like your team's really vague today. I'm so sorry. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Because they're talking about like I feel like it has to do with like your seer sight. Like, it has to do with your seer sight. Because I want to call it almost premonition. I want to call it but it's just something that's linked with your seer sight. Like, you can see it in your mind's eye. But it makes me feel like it's paired with your creativity. It makes me feel like it's something that you're rediscovering, you're rekindling, you're rebuilding, you're redoing. And they want you to have fun with it. They want you to play with it. They want you to readopt it back into something that you do. Like, something that you work on, something that you have fun with, something that brings you joy, because they're just talking about something that you did delving in to your healing journey, is the way that I want to call it. Something you did delving into your healing journey makes me feel as though it's re-uncovered something that we kind of just put maybe like a tarp over for a second because life got busy, is the way that I almost want to say it. But it delves with the seer sight, so it delves with the imagination, it delves with the creativity, and it just makes me feel as though that's what they want you to kind of churn up a little bit to help you get in touch with your femininity, to help you re-get in touch with your intuition, to re-get in touch with that part of yourself, because you're already trying to bridge the gap in a healing sense from getting out of your masculine upper Dantian mind and into your emotional feminine. So there's just something about, they want to kind of balance the scales for you a little bit, in that your feminine doesn't have to be weighted in such dense emotion. It can also be super playful. It can also be super creative. It can also be a sense of joy for you. And I feel like this is how they want you to balance out your hardship of your dense emotions that you still have to come to terms with, right? That heart chakra space, right? And that intuition and the little bit of that pain and that grief. But they don't want you to be anchored by it, is almost the way that I want to say it. So I feel like they're churning it up, and they're kind of wanting you to play with your feminine too, so you don't hate dealing with your feminine, and it doesn't become a chore to cry every day, and you know what I mean? It almost makes me feel like they're trying to give you two different ways almost to work with her. You know what I mean? To work with your feminine. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like it bridges, I just feel like it bridges into physical creativity. I just do. I as much as they keep talking about the seer sight and the whatever, it makes me feel like though, more like you're envisioning something. That's the way that I want to say it. And I feel like that's that foresight. It's like you're envisioning something, because I get the creative mind. I get the imagination. It makes me feel as though you have plans. I don't know how to make this make sense. I wish they would just give me a word, but it's they just want you to have fun with the creative fun side while you deal with her in a dense emotional space, so that you have a balance scale, because they're talking about how you've done a lot of your healing growth in balance. You've done it a lot to your best of your ability, as to not overwhelm yourself with 7 ego deaths and a 12 dark nights and stuff. You know what I mean? You've really kind of slowly given yourself a little up, a little down throughout the journey that you've taken so far. And I feel like they're really just trying to cultivate you to stay in what I call that gray area, where you're kind of going with the up down flow of your healing journey, instead of just into rock bottom. God, I hope that helps. Your team's it's like they're dancing around it, And I don't know your team to dance around it. I feel like last time, I feel like your team's always just been direct and been dropping bombs and lighting booties on fire. So I don't know why we're going around a circle. But do you have any questions? I'm going to scroll back through your comments. And if you have questions, you want something clarified, like, let me know. I just feel like you're creating something. Like, I feel like you're creating something. I don't know what you're creating, but I just feel like you're creating something. I'm going to say it to the day I die. I feel like you're creating something. I don't know. I'm going to scroll. But I just feel like you're creating something. Tell the spirit guides this intrusion is intended for the moment. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Purge. Thanks for the help, dude. Okay, Miss K. I got you on the list. I'll check spaces in a minute. Ezraiah, are me and Isaiah over? I could do a love relationship read for you if you'd like one. But it would only be in your energy. It wouldn't be in Isaiah's. Because I can't pull in energy I don't have permission. So I can do like, is it in your greatest, highest good? Like, is it at an end for you kind of a thing? But I just can't tell you what he's feeling or thinking because that would require me to tap into his energy, if that makes sense. Yes, I do. Little Ducky! My gifts, interior design. Well, if it's your gifts, then that makes sense for seer sight because that would be a visual. Well, if it's your gifts, then that makes sense for seer sight because that would be a visual. Mind a space and envision it. So maybe, but let's ask the cards. We'll ask your team and the cards at the same time. How's that sound? But if you seriously have any other questions, like go ahead, drop them down. Like, you know what I mean? Yes. I have 3 yeses led by a Fool card, which is literally all like freedom, setting yourself free in that space and starting something new. But it's also that daring adventure. Like, so if this is a rekindling of something that you either used to like to do or using a passion of creativity or design and making it into interior design and maybe taking it more seriously, asserting yourself with it, that would make sense because my second card out is literally like my standing my ground, like my 7 of wands. So to me, that would be asserting yourself coming into your new journey. You know what I mean? So the fact that it's 3 yeses and then the Fool in the lead tells me, yeah, for the interior design thing. Do you need anything else from me, Miss Tonya? Miss Tonya? If you are good, just give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, go ahead, drop them down. Awesome. No worries. I hope that helped a little bit, Miss Tonya. I feel like your team can go back to Gardenia. I feel like your team could go back to Gardenia now because I feel like they really are just trying to keep you at the most neutral that you can muster. And neutral is just that gray area balance. Like, as much as where you are right now in your healing journey as it stands right now, I feel like they're just trying not to have you affected by much to where it swings you one way, swings you the other, I feel like they're really trying to keep you in that steady ground. So, thank you for sharing your time, your space, and your energy with us. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us on a crazy Saturday night, but here we are. Here we be. I am going to check the list, and I will be right back. I believe I have Miss K on the list. Reads are 12/22. For my subscribers, it's a subscriber day, and they are $15.55 for my non-subscribers. We have Cash App and Venmo. I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. Sorry. Alright, Miss K. I have you on the list, dude. The list is open, guys. I have maybe 1 or 2 spots left, so if you want to get on it, go ahead and get on it. Miss K, are you in here, dude? And if you are in here, do you have any questions or any topics that you would like to kind of steer the read to, or do you just want to do a general? Totally up to you, madame. Thank you for the follow, Purge. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love, dude. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for all the love taps. Thank you for all the gifts, the follows, the shares. Thank you for hanging out. You know, it is much appreciated. Need a general, greatest good reading. Everything is kind of blown up. Okay. Alright, we'll see. We'll see what you need to know, okay? No worries. Take a couple deep breaths, though. No need to stress. No need to stress. Someone keeps saying time crunch. Over here, 9:49 on the clock. Someone keeps saying time crunch before we've even started. I don't know if this is just the way your energy's coming in, but someone's saying time crunch over here in my right ear. It's like the energy's kind of weird, Miss K. It kind of feels like out of the pan into the frying, out of the frying pan into the fire. Like it's giving me that the ultimate tower is like what it feels like, to where things were rough but just got rougher like that, but I'm feeling a lot of stress. I'm feeling a lot of chest tightness. I don't want to necessarily say anxiety. I don't really get the anxiety feel, but a lot of worry, to the point where it's almost making my back hurt, because of the pressure on the shoulders, to where I'm almost feeling like I'm carrying the world on my shoulders, kind of a deal. It's very uncomfortable in the upper back, so I don't know if you're feeling upper back pain, but it is very uncomfortable for me energetically in the upper back. Let's see what they want you to know. They're saying anxiety won't help you. They're coming right out and saying anxiety won't help you. So I don't know if you've been anxious lately. I just split it on Balance and the Magician, and I feel like this magician is giving me starting from scratch energy. This magician is giving me that's funny. Hoist the Colors just started playing, and just the part of Hoist the Colors made me feel like rise up. Like it gave me stand up, rise up. It gave me out the ashes, pulling you up by your bootstraps kind of energy. I just had 2 sevens hit my table. 7, 7, 14, 1 force 5. That's forward movement. But that's also conflict. It's like movement through conflict. Into an 8, which means hard work ahead of us, is what I'm feeling like. Into a 9. You're just counting up the whole way. 7, 8, 9. It's all forward progression, but this 9 of Swords, dude, is all about your stress level, all about your mental stress level, all about the pressure you're putting on yourself, all about the chaos you have swirling on and the late nights staying up and the worrying and the not knowing what to do, but then also kind of almost being paralyzed by fear so that we don't know what to do, but we're not doing anything at the same time. We don't know what to do, but we're not doing anything at the same time. You're not getting a good night's sleep. You don't know what's going on. And that's that energy right now surrounded by that card. But the fact that it counts up. So it's 2 sevens forcing forward movement. I feel like I can hear keys in my head being like, move or be moved. That's like that kind of energy where like the redirection's a blessing and it makes me feel like you were shifted hard. Like it makes me feel like you were shifted hard. Like the universe was like, enough of this and shifted hard is the way it feels. And I feel like it's coming off of this like fire passion energy in a bad way. Like a negative space and a move or be moved. I feel like I'm getting stabbed in my like rib. I don't know what that was. But the fact that it's counting up, I feel like you're ascending to something better. I feel like this is part of your growth. You're still forward moving of my 5, 7, 8, 9. And I feel like I'm hearing keys. I feel like I'm hearing you. 3rd time's the charm. That's what I feel like I keep hearing. 3 different numbers. 3rd time's the charm. I know you might feel stuck right now. I know you might feel trapped with this 8 of Swords card out here. I know you might feel like there's no way out, and you might feel like you don't have enough to do whatever you need to do. But they're kind of telling you that's not the case. They're telling you that's not the case at all because it's paired with my Magician, and it's coming out of a Hermit that is not been fully utilized is the way that it's saying. It's coming out here as a Hermit card that's not been fully utilized, which means we're still doing inner discovery and there's still some things that need uncovered. I do have the Lovers card out here, and I do have a negative King of Wands out on my table, which would be your more aggressive, more assertive masculine, and paired with the Lovers out here, on the table, it's really just making me feel with this High Priestess and this Hermit card like there's still some unresolved things, and this High Priestess needs to remember who she is the way that I want to say it. This High Priestess needs to remember who she is, and that's part of going into this 8 of Swords. You're not helpless, you're not without anything, although it might seem it. I got the Hangman out here over this Hermit into the Magician, and it just really is pulling me to the fact that you're at a pause. But it's like a self-formed pause, because I feel like with this 9 of Swords, with this stress, with this anxiety, I really just feel like this is you pausing you, because we almost are paused in a little bit of nervous fear energy. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I just feel like they're really harping on how out of balance you currently are, both in the physical but in the mental energies, in the feeling of not knowing what to do, the lack of direction, not knowing where to go, and almost like feeling like heat pressure. I don't want to say reality, but like reality breathing down your neck, and I have my protection card out as a bridge, and it's right on top of this like lack of trust card, and I just feel like trust isn't easy for you, and I feel like you don't trust a lot of people, and you don't trust a lot of situations, you don't trust a lot of places. Hierophant and the trap card again, and it just feels like I'm gonna be honest, I have a koala with a baby on it, and it just makes me feel like protecting yourself, yeah, but it makes me feel like protecting your family, and it just makes me feel like you're not in the position right now to like know what to do. And I split the card again on a inability to make a decision and almost not knowing where to go. It's like a huge lack of direction. What is going on that we have a big lack of direction? But they're cautioning you on your lack of balance, and they're just cautioning you on finding the middle ground so that you can function. Like, they're calling you cunning, and I know cunning energy might have a negative connotation to it, but they're talking about turning something that might be some of your unhealed tendencies, some of your manipulation tendencies, and don't take that the wrong way. We all manipulate things. Transmutation is manipulation of energy, so manipulation is not always a negative term, so don't feel that way. But they are talking about taking some of the characteristics of yourself that have allowed you to survive this long that maybe you're not the most proud of because you kind of towed the line, and they're talking about using that type of a skill and that type of a cunning to your energy and allowing it to work for you. This is the part of you have all the tools you need of the magician that was out here. You have all the tools you need to get yourself out of your current situation, is the way they're saying it. But you have to flip from the stuck, trapped, no direction to like the cunning energy of being like, I know what to do, I know how to get out of this, I can get myself out of anything. And this is part of flipping that narrative, part of flipping that energy with inside self, which is really helping you to stay on balance and out of the swamp. And we call it the swamp over here. I know you've been here for a little bit, but we call it the swamp. Oop. Indecision card out again. There's just this like need for independence that they're kind of pushing you towards, and they're talking about you currently having a lack of stability with this 9 of coins out here in reverse. It's like this lack of physical stability, a lack of security. And it just makes me feel like at one point you had high hopes, at one point you had big dreams, and it feels like it came crashing down in your head. And now you're kind of in a moment to where you say you want to be on your own, you say you want to be standing in independence and stuff like that, but right now they're saying that that's not currently where you are. And they're just talking about how it's a slow and steady move through your transition. It's a slow and steady move through your physical death rebirth in the 3D, but also spiritually. Because they're talking about the need to let go of past patterns that got you where you were, and that's why I have this now in reverse as the need to escape self-destruction. That picking yourself back up and learning from the past, but not allowing it to limit you, is the way that they're saying it. I have so many upside down feminine energy here, in the fact of coming out as representing you here is the fact of not being secure, like having that lack of self-confidence, having almost like that lack of drive that things are gonna turn upward, and it's just like this shakening that's happened to your foundation, is the way that I want to say it. And they're just cautioning you not to run from one thing to another. They want you to put like solid thought, plan, and things into motion, because running, they're almost like saying like running for cover, again and again and again isn't serving you. And this is part of this letting go and learning from the past, in that it didn't serve you. It didn't serve you the first time. And they're talking about how this transition for you is going to dredge up emotions that you weren't ready to deal with, is the way that they're saying it. It's going to pull forward emotions that you didn't think either were a problem or you thought you dealt with, but then here they come again. So they're just cautioning you in that it's coming, and you need to find a good way of expressing them, because if you shut them out, then your foundations can't be built, is the way that they're talking about it. And they want you to learn from the past instead of ignoring it, is the way that they're saying it, instead of ignoring it. Woo! Learn from the past as the acceptance card falls out, like gets chucked across my table, and the need for harmony card. I just want to remind you, like I feel like the need to remind you that the journey to peace isn't peaceful. It's anything but peaceful. So being happy-go-lucky and being all smiles, all love and light isn't going to help you right now, because you're at the precipice of this rough transition, this like holy hella moment, to where you have to feel the things you don't want to feel, and this is part of pushing towards your harmony. And they're just being very honest in that you're not there right now. Like you're not at your harmony point yet. You're not at your balance point yet. Excuse me. Transmutation. And they're kind of talking about how you want to rush to the end, is the way they're saying it. You want to rush to the end of your journey. You want to get through it. You want to get past it. You want to get done with it. You want to get onto your purpose. You want to get pushing forward through it. Movement in the breakthrough card. You want to kind of push through it, and they're cautioning you patience, because you can't run from it. You have to face it. You have to stand there. You have to go through it piece by piece. You have to give space and time for yourself. And there's a part of not wanting just the end goal, but enjoying the entirety of the journey. And enjoying does not mean super excited every second of every day. Enjoying just means that it's a process. Enjoying means that having the understanding that it's ups and downs, and some downs may be really down, but then the benefit of having really down downs is really good ups, because it's a pendulum. It swings, so the lower it goes, the higher it goes, and it spends equal time in both. And they're just talking about, as we have the 9, the healing card, and they're just talking about this is the part of your journey that you have to do right now, because they're talking about how you've kind of detached yourself from your emotions for a long time, and you've kind of separated yourself from your inner feelings, and you've kind of been surrounded by people but alone. Is the way that I want to say it, surrounded by people but alone. And they're just talking about how that doesn't serve you anymore, and you're moving to something different, as we literally have the movement card out here one more time. Yep. Slow and steady movement. Woo! Let's see if I can actually hold the cards up. Slow and steady movement. Slow and steady movement through emotional balance is what you got going on right now. You gotta take time for you. And I don't mean lazy time. Like self-giving time for you. Not lazy time, not depresso espresso, no. Self-time for you. Some self-care, some what you like to do, some time for contemplation without anxiety, right? Like feeling into self. Like there's a certain part of mustering up this internal strength, because we have our strength card out here. This internal strength that they really are calling you for. Because they're really harping on the fact that you've gotten through tougher than this. You've gotten through harder than this. And they're just talking about you kind of need to remind yourself that you've done worse than this. You have overcome bigger obstacles than this. And they're kind of pulling me back to that quote that the black guy from Family Feud, Steve Harvey, and he's just like, you've won every single battle you've come up against this far because you're here. So your track record for overcoming your hard obstacles is 100%. Your worst times, overcoming your worst times is 100%. As we had the victory card out here with the Ace of Cups as we split the deck. I got this Two of Cups out here in reverse. Right, paired with an upside down wheel. And they're just kind of making me feel like it's up to you whether you sink or swim. It's up to you whether this makes or breaks you. Because it's your choice on what to do with what you're dealt. But they are confident in saying the redirection is a blessing. Like, it was meant to get you moving because you weren't moving, is the way they're saying. We have so much movement out here, and the fact that it is all forward movement, even if it may not seem or feel like it, it is. And they are adamant on it. Like, completely adamant on it. Completely adamant on it. Miss K, do you have anything you need clarified about anything that we talked about? I'm gonna scroll back through this comment section, and we'll see what you jotted down. We'll see what you jotted down. Sun when it starts to snow. Let her go. That's a good song. It's sad, but it's a good song. It's a good song. You're high when you're feeling low. Alright, guys. I think we're going to do last call. We're doing 12:22 for my subscribers as I'm finishing up with Miss K. And we are doing 15:55 for my non-subscribers. We have Cash App. And we have Venmo. So we're going to do last call. Oh, my ear's ringing. Yeah, I do right now, Sienna. I do. We're doing last call right now for live, and then I have tons of private reads open. I wasn't quite sure what you were meaning, but I do have live right now, and then I have like a whole calendar open for the next coming week. I have a couple spots on each day right at the moment, so thank you so much for the duck. I'm sorry I missed it. Thank you for the duck. And welcome in, Shannon. Thank you for the follow, Sienna. Crow, how's it going? I feel like I healed it, but keeps getting spun backwards. Healing's not linear, dude. Healing's not linear. That's a fallacy. Healing's not linear. It's a spiral staircase. And that's why a lot of people say we get stuck in a cycle, because if you're not moving forward on the staircase, you keep revisiting everything at like kind of the same level. And from this top view, it looks like a circle. And that's where we get our cycles from. But it's not. If you think about it like a staircase, you go up and forward to spin back around to it to see it from a different perspective. To then go up and forward and see it from a different perspective. Up and forward. And you're going to continuously do that, because with each new elevation, each new perspective, you gain new insights. You have a new objective seat of the observer to view everything from. But also because you went your upward incline, you also have a new understanding of things. Yourself, the world around you, and then you get to apply it on your revisit. Now, there are times when you don't need to revisit anymore, but if we think like healing as hollowing out, I don't know, an avocado, sure, that was, I don't know why your team came up with that, but that was weird. If we think about hollowing up like an avocado, I don't even eat avocados. Why are we choosing avocados? Okay. But like, you're going to scrape a little bit, and then you're going to put it down. You're going to come back to it, and you're going to scrape a little deeper, and you're going to come back to it, and you're going to really get down. And then the next thing you know, all the inside, all the green guac, or whatever, I don't know, whatever the meat of the avocado is called, is gone. Then you just have the shell. The shell of what was, because you understand it. It's not full of anything, you know? And there's no need to scrape it at that point. I think now I understand why we chose an avocado. That was pretty good. I'm going to have to write that down. But when you get to that point, you'll know it, because your soul won't feel the reason to revisit it. Your child self won't feel the need to revisit it. Your teen self won't feel the need to revisit it. Your young adult self, your adult self won't feel the need to revisit it. We only revisit things to either one, see how far we've come, or two, because there's something else we need to look at. You know? I feel like trash. I don't know what else is left. Could they clarify if the redirection was from Jake, PDC, or both? I have no idea what PDC is. Both. Both, because I have a lot of my returning to self cards, my new beginning, my balance, my escaping, deceit, trickery, and lies, and almost like that kind of like hidden in plain sight. And anytime they bring up this card with hidden in plain sight, it's like my friends, like my enemies disguised as friends card. So this Jake person, that makes sense. I don't know what the CPD is, but I'm hearing the word both. I just don't know what that acronym stands for. I'm awful with acronyms and abbreviations. But based on what's on the table, it's a yes for Jake, and then they're saying both. They're saying both. I was thinking about getting a read, but the one for K hit so hard. I don't think I need one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but sometimes Spirit does. I feel like my eyes are all of a sudden like itchy. I don't know why. That's so weird. But I feel as though sometimes Spirit does that. Sometimes they like have you come in at the opportune time when somebody else is getting a reading, and then it resonates for you, even though it's somebody else's reading. So anybody has the potential to be a messenger. Me, a buddy, someone who's completely unawakened at all, or you know what I mean? Like, everything has the potential to be a teacher and a messenger. So if you feel like you got satisfaction and things resonated and it vibed off of somebody else's read and you feel satisfied, then it's okay. Like, that is an okay thing. I always just tell people to like listen to themselves, you know what I mean? Thank you so much for the little rainbow. It's weird because I escaped DV just for him to come back with a legit health reason. Sudden changes that made me leave, but he doesn't want me back. Now I'm being kicked out of shelter after they were originally telling me there was no timeline. Now I'm very much The empty avocado shell. I don't think you're the empty avocado shell. That seems like a lot of stuff in your avocado. Like, I love how we're using the avocado reference now, but that seems like there's a lot of stuff, like, in the avocado, because if he was able to manipulate you with either a health concern or you put him before yourself, then you're not as healed as you think you are, and he still holds control or power over your energy, over your light body, over your whatever. People who truly care and are for your greatest, highest good and whatever, like, they're not going to intentionally manipulate you into harming you. Now, everyone has unhealed tendencies that can rub off because we're all human and healing and learning. But, you know what I mean? You know? The shelter I'm staying at and have until the 11th to leave with my kids, it feels like I got booted because I got too comfy. Okay, but that's the redirection is a blessing. That's the move or be moved. If you have, and that would all, wait a minute, that would also be the time, hold on, wait a minute, that would also be the time constraint from the beginning when they said, I'm transmitting energy, I'm so sorry. That's also the time restraint when they were talking about, pressure and, like, I'm on a timetable and the weight on the back is because now you're having to do an abrupt upleave in 5 days? In 5 days? You know what I mean? And if you can admittedly know, like you're mentally taking responsibility, but you're not emotionally taking responsibility. Like, mentally, your brain is telling you, I got too comfy, it's my fault. But you're not actually feeling that. You know what I mean? You're not actually feeling that. Like, because it's like a self-understanding, a self-perspective that they moved you because you weren't moving yourself. And it's not bad. We all get moved by spirit at one point in time. I got moved. Key's gotten moved. Plenty of people that I've worked with have gotten moved. We all get moved at one point or another. I just call it the boot. You know what I mean? Like, move or be moved, shift or be shifted. You only do so many things, and then time and time again, and things get painful. And the longer you stay in a cycle, things get painful. The longer we stay there, the tougher they make it, so that it elicits our response. So this is the toughest they're making it for you, is they're forcing your movement for your greatest, highest good. You know what I mean? I kind of figured, sorry, probably my energy. Been crying a lot. I'm not a crier either, so it's weird. But that's the whole point, though. Like, dude, we all cry. I've watched grown men cry. We all cry. We need to normalize crying a little bit. You know, there's the overdramatic crier, of course, who needs to simmer down. But, like, crying is completely normal. And if you don't do it, then you're not a shelled out avocado, because there's still pent up stuff. There's still stuff you're not willing to look at. There's still emotions, feelings, and burdens of the past that are bubbling and breaking through to the surface that you're going to have to address. And sometimes that's being soft with yourself. Sometimes that's expressing your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. Like, you're not your thoughts, but if you go throughout life thinking your way through and never feeling your way through anything, that's where you get the disconnect. And that's where you feel numb. That's where you feel lost. That's where you feel left out. It's because you're only using half of yourself at all times. I know better, though. Time to move on. I was talking about avocado earlier. I promised myself I won't settle. And this read just confirmed that I need to pick me and not look back. 1,000%. I missed hanging lanterns. I'm so sorry. That's so awesome. Thank you, Shannon, for the gift. I missed hanging lanterns. Oh my god, I'm such a bum. I'm avoiding the feelings. I'm so sad because I finally felt family friends for the first time now. But that's the thing, dude. That's the thing. Like, that's good. Like, stop shitting on yourself for a second. Like, that's good. Like, stop shitting on yourself. That's good. You're allowed to feel things. You're allowed to feel loved. You're worthy of feeling like you have family and friends. You're worthy of feeling like you can get help. You're worthy of feeling like somebody's to assist you. But we also at some point have to do for ourselves. So that's feeling our feelings, that's healing, that's crying, that's picking ourselves up, that's finding, our own stability within self and not just relying on somebody else. You're doing both. But if you've been someone who hasn't been able to accept help, and I don't know that only you do, if you're someone who hasn't been able to accept help, then sometimes that's the breaking point of setting your pride aside and asking for help from people who actually care. I gotta go again and I'm scared. I'm freaking terrified. Crying is good for you. 1,000%. 1,000%. I'm not sure why I keep choosing small. I have big dreams, but I never follow through. Because here's the thing, Miss K. Like, you're not going to follow through in your big dreams until you believe that you're worthy of those dreams. That's why you got to start with self. You can have the biggest mind and be the biggest dreamer, but you will continuously self-sabotage on all of those dreams if you don't truly believe that you're worth having them. And that's the difference. It starts within you and it's rippled outward. Because when you feel good on the inside, you want to do good things. And the other way around is coping. I don't care what anyone says. The other way around is coping. I'm going to make myself and my environment perfect and then I'll feel better. It's coping. You do it the other way around, it's healing. I'm not saying you can't ever get yourself something in the outside. No. But we all know the extreme that I'm talking about, That's the fear. Yeah. I struggle with accepting help. It's like I either do everything myself or nothing because I don't get it. Because I don't get how to balance. It's because you just gotta take it one day at a time, but it's hard to seek balance, dude, when your insides aren't balanced. You're attempting to seek balance on the outside of you with your insides being unbalanced. Of course it's near impossible. It feels hard to manage because you're out of balance energetically. Balance the inside first. Do the best you can right now to keep a routine on the outside, a routine and a schedule that makes time for everything that will mimic balance on the outside. But it's your inner energetic emotional balance that needs to come online first. No, Miss K. No, absolutely not. That's avoidance. Absolutely not. Meditating and positivity is not going to help you. You're lying to yourself. It's not going to help you. It's not. You need to unbury the shit you don't want to talk about. And even some of the stuff that you have numbed yourself to talking about. You can try to meditate, but it's not going to work because you can use meditation as an escape if you do it in an unpositive way. You have to deal with all the things you're avoiding. Because just sitting there kumbayaing and pretending they don't exist doesn't help. Doesn't help at all. And it's not about being positive per se. It's about being honest. It's about being raw. You know what I mean? But that's the point. You overshare. You bombard, you overshare, and you make yourself numb because you're not actually feeling the energy behind the words that you say. You're not actually feeling the energy behind the words that you say. You're saying them, So, we have private spaces if you need help with shadow work. We have private spaces where we can sit down one-on-one and we can unbury your shadows, get to the root cause of, some traumas, dramas, problems, and stuff like that, and get you kind of more into balance where you understand yourself, what you're avoiding, and help you address it in a healthy way that helps clear up your energetic pathways to gain more semblance of balance on the inside. So that you can reflect, and have that ripple on your 3D. And you can find the links on the website. It's www.ChildOfBalance.com. And we can get you set up for like a one-on-one if you need it. You know what I mean? But it's a process. It's not an overnight success thing. And anybody who tells you they can cure you in a day is lying. It's just the truth, you know? And I'm not curing you. We're giving you the tools for you to do it yourself, you know? Okay. Well, we can do it, Miss K. You already know how it works here, dude. We can do it. You know, we can sit down, we can chit chat about it, and, you know, we can come up with a plan that curtails your specific needs just like everybody else in that space, you know what I mean? You know, that's not a problem at all. So if that's something you need, you know, just feel free to shoot us an email, childofbalance369@gmail.com. You don't have to remember it. It's in the link tree. Our email's in the link tree, but we can definitely like sit down and, you know, schedule something where we can kind of have a one-on-one chit chat and just get right down to it, you know. Okay. Well then, dude, you already know what to do then. No worries, dude. You know, we all do things on our own time, our own pace, and you know, there's nothing wrong with doing the spiritual journey by ourselves. There's nothing wrong with it. I've done most of my spiritual journey by myself, but when I need help, you know, to get past something, like, you got to reach out for help, you know what I mean? So I think you got it, Miss K. I think you got it, dude. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to check spaces, and I will be right back. Don't go nowheres. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Oh my god, you're fine, Miss K. Like, seriously, everybody starts at a different place. Everyone starts at a different understanding. And I'm a very adaptable person in the way that I like to work in people's constructs. I like to work in the way they think and feel, and the way their energy responds to them. So we just break it down in however the individual person needs it. And usually people's teams and guides will give me kind of an incentive, or like a little kicker as to how things work, you know what I mean? Okay, so I don't read tarot. I know it may appear that way, and I do use a ton of decks, but I actually don't read tarot. I'm self-taught completely in tarot. I use a ton of intuition, so I definitely will never be teaching tarot. I can teach you how to use your intuition and play with cards, but I don't think that I'll ever teach tarot because I don't follow Rider-Waite standard. We pull in numerology, astrology, this, that, elemental stuff, and like we go 2 to 10. Like, I've sat here and talked to people, dragon energies, like, so. But I do mediumship, yeah, 1,000%. I do mediumship. I've been I should say, like, I haven't been, but the first time that I ever talked to a dead person, I was 5 years old, and I didn't really think anything of it at the time, and then I kind of just, you know, randomness throughout my childhood. So I am a medium. I can talk to past people. Sometimes I do it here on live. If your past person comes through while we're talking to you and spirit feels the need to kind of shove them through, we definitely go there. We'll definitely go there. That's not a problem. But it doesn't always happen like a ton. But some days I just feel like my team's like mediumship day, and they just shove everybody through, you know? So we do offer mediumship for sure on the website. I just have it set for 30 minutes right now, but we usually go over because I don't stop them. But yeah, so right now it's like $30 for 30 minutes. But I just got out of mediumship today, and I was with somebody for 55 minutes. So I mean, I don't charge anymore. Like, that's a me problem, but we do it. Yeah, for sure. I can read Oracle, but I have trouble trusting myself. Oracle's harder. I don't care I guess it depends on your deck. If you're somebody who's trying to memorize the cards, then Oracle's easier, I guess, because there's less cards and less to memorize, right? But if you're doing off of intuition, a lot of times Oracles are more easy, especially because they usually tend to have better imagery, and they'll give you a word or a phrase. But because it just gives you a word and an image, it forces you to have to use more intuition. Usually where people get stuck with tarot is they try to remember what every single card means, and there's 78 of them. And that's usually where people try to get like Rider-Waite tarot, and they try to memorize what everything means and this means and it, like, it's just too much. You're taking the fun out of the art of doing it. You're taking your abilities out of the art of doing it. So I don't know. We just kind of go with the flow over here. We just kind of like do the things, Well, you just got to clear up the resistance, though. You know what I mean, Miss K? Cards are a tool that work alongside intuition. Oh, 1,000%. You already know it. The Beautiful Creatures deck is tarot, but has words like Oracle. They are so pretty. One of, like, the best... Not the best. No, that's wrong. No. I did not mean to say that. I don't know where I was going with that. But one of the most interesting decks that is, like it's kind of like this, like, healing... lonely path deck, I don't know, is like this Lonely Wanderer deck, and it just always gave me like what's that word, Where the Wild Things Are. It's like Where the Wild Things Are deck. I like, it's not really, but it's like just the coolest, like, random images of like the most oddest of scenes and stuff, like they're just like creatures and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it, like, you know what I mean? And it just has such a tone to it that it's just kind of wild. And this is kind of a deck that it was kind of an impulse buy. I was like walking out a metaphysical shop and I was like, oh my God, I need that. Like, it's just, they're just so interested, you know what I mean? Like, they're just so odd. Like what an odd deck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even... It's just... But I tell you what, it spits facts every time. If you're kind of into... I mean, I have decks that aren't on this table. But if you're kind of into Oracle and you're into kind of... more maybe tribal, native-y, earthy element kind of a deck, this one's kind of really cool. It throws together like a lot of different cultural stuff, but it's so much imagery that there's like a lot in there that you could really like pick apart, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so much going on, that if you wanted to get like super, super crazy, there's like, like the, Tree of Life, and there, like, you can just do so much with it as far as like, there's like, the angelic realm, like, so I think it's just finding something that calls to you, like, and not being afraid to get a deck that nobody has. You know what I mean? Not being afraid to get a deck that nobody has. Because when I got this deck, nobody had it. This was my first deck. Like, my guide pretty much demanded this deck. He did not stop. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. That was his first deck. This was my first deck ever, was this deck. I bought it for a buddy, and then I was jealous after I bought it for him when he opened it up and showed it to me. So then he convinced me to buy it for myself. Like, just very basic, but there's so much symbology in these, just like a basic, like even just this, even just like a simple victory card. There's so much symbology in it that you could do so much with it and stuff like that, But I really encourage people to like listen to how your teams, your guides, your intuition, the energy is hitting you, you know what I mean? Oh, thanks so much, Shannon. I appreciate it. Those are super cute. Yeah. I'm not depriving myself, but not learning tarot. It's okay. I'm going to reach out about learning mediumship. It's skill I'd love to hone in on. I don't currently teach it. I don't currently teach it. We could talk about it though. I would have to, I think, assess where you are to see if I feel like I could truly help you, because I'm not going to waste your time. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to waste your time. So we would definitely have to have like a conversation about it, and I would kind of need to see where you're at in your journey. And I would probably we'd have to sit down and just have a chit chat, because I don't want to waste your time, and I don't, you know what I mean? So like if you're looking for something like that, then we can definitely get together and talk it out, for sure. I know I know in some ways I've helped Miss Erin with her innate ability, but we can definitely talk about it. I'm not opposed to it. I am just one of those people who I just want to make sure it's 100% a good fit, because it would be like an I would build a space for it, is what I'm saying. I would build a space that it wouldn't be advertised anywhere else, because I would be super selective with who would be in that space. But I'm not opposed to it, so how about, and did you use my government name? I did because I panicked. I did because I panicked. And y'all all got to see the little panic of like, but it's okay. It's okay. But I have helped people, but just not in like a traditional class setting, not in like but I have helped people in that, so it's not outside of my ability, but I'm very picky. I'm gonna tell you that, whole God's honest, I'm very picky, because I do things very unorthodox in the way that I don't set up a whole lot of structure, and I'm self-taught, so either the way that I do it, the wall tap, either the way that I do it works for somebody, or it works outside of their construct, and then I probably won't be able to help them. You know what I mean? So that's totally fine. Like, I could reach out and we'll figure it out. Like, I'm not worried about it. We'll figure it out, and I'm gonna honestly tell you if I think it'll work with what you have going on right now with your current level of ability, or if I think that I'm not the person for you. Because I'm always 100% honest. If I think that you would benefit from somebody else, I'll tell you flat out, I think you'd benefit from somebody else. So I'm never gonna steer you wrong. You know what I mean? I know. I don't do it often. Because it's rude. No, you're keys. You're always keys. Since we created the name, you're always keys. But, so yeah, I'm not opposed to it, Dude, I don't know, but we're gonna have to talk, Miss Keys. We're gonna have to talk. But, so yeah, Miss Allie, I'm not opposed to it. Feel free to reach out. You can either set up like a consultation space, and we can just talk for as long as I feel like to gather some stuff, and we can chit chat. It's free. It's zero money for consultation. It's a free space. You can do that, or you can shoot me an email. Email process will just take a little bit longer because we're gonna have back and forth. Or we could just do a phone call. Like, totally up to you. But yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It would be similar to a mentorship space in price. It would be similar to price as a mentorship space, because we would be doing mentorship on that ability should we branch into it. So if you want to check out what that is, you know what I mean? And we can talk about it on the back end. Like, I'm not worried about it at all. We can talk about it and we can discuss a lot of stuff if we get to that point. But just giving you like a heads up for like a ballpark, you know what I mean, price range would be between shadow work and mentorship. Kind of a price range, just so you can get an idea before you even, you know what I mean, just so you have an idea if it's even feasible for you with what you currently have going on. Like, we're not, you know, we're 100% honest out on the table here, so, but, okay, I'm just fully on, like, we're just fully honest. I'm not, you know what I mean, we come 100% correct, or we don't come at all, so, so that's fine. But thank you so much, guys, for sharing your time, your space, and your precious energy here tonight with us. Thank you for all the loves. 18.6K. You guys are wild. Thank you for all the comments, the conversation. Thank you for everyone who bought and paid for a read. Thank you for the gifts. I got so many duckies today and so many roses. And I got a lantern thing, which I missed, which I really hope that I can see. I really hope I can see it on the replay because I'm so annoyed that I missed it. Love the oh, thank you so much, Wild Wild Witch. I appreciate it, dude. We, like me, Keys, and Miss Rude Intentions, like, we spend a lot of time building this space, and we understand that we're not everybody's cup of tea, you know, and we're okay with that. And we're okay with that. We're okay with that. But we could always. Okay, that's just so cool. That's just so cool. Thank you so much for the lights. Thank you so much. That's just so cool. Thank you so much. So, God, I just appreciate all you guys, you know. And we're really building, and we're not going to stop building. I'm probably going to open up some energy services come more into the summer months. So you're going to see that. Miss Keys is almost finished up with her herbal class, and she will be launching that pretty soon as well. So coming into the warmer months as we bridge into that spring, summer, whatever part of nature we're in right now, there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming to the website, and when it unleashes, it's going to be boom, 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 boom. So if you're not a member, go ahead and join. It's 100% free to join the website. It'll never cost you money. We don't spam your shit because I don't do that. So it's www. Whoa, that's a lot of W's. www.childofbalance.com. It's in the link tree. You guys don't have to remember it. You know what I mean? But it's free to become a member, and you can gain points from interacting with the website. We also have a huge free tree of knowledge with over 120 articles on it. With over 120 articles, and we post to that tree of knowledge 3 times a week. So there's little tidbits of information in there. Anything from chakra stuff to meditation to breath work to spiritual practices, road opener, crystal gridding, to like redefining words, some like cultural prophecies, spiritual practices, to astral, to we just almost anything, herbology, crystallology, almost anything's a topic, grounding, like, so there's just a lot of stuff that we put on there for free. So it would just benefit you to be a member because you get to read all those cool things. And we're not stopping anytime soon. And if you guys would like to hear about a topic, you just can email it to us and we'll make it a topic. And coming soon, me and Miss Keys will potentially be doing a podcast where we answer your guys' questions, and like we can, you know, maybe talk some experiences and share some stories and kind of have some spiritual conversations. And we enjoy playing devil's advocate because we play devil's advocate in our own space. So we'll break down our constructs. You can give us a construct and we'll tell you why we think we like it, why we don't, where the pitfalls are, you know, and we're going to do that. So you can start sending questions into us, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a problem. We can definitely do that because we're backlogging everyone's questions now. I have a list of questions, and we're going to be doing like emails, and we're going to be answering people's email questions, and we'll say like, you know, I don't know, tvlover@gmail.com, like, wrote in, you know what I mean? And we're going to be doing that. And we're going to try for like once every other week, potentially once a week. And we're going to do it to where it's posted on YouTube. It will be a podcast style. It will be posted on YouTube with video, but then it will also just be audio. It'll also just be audio. So that way, if you're at work or whatever, like, you know what I mean? You can just pop an earbud in and it'll just be an audio file that you guys don't have to like worry about opening up like all this crazy stuff and having the screen playing in the background. So I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of it, but we have that plan coming in the works too. So we are not stopping anytime soon. Also, thinking even further ahead into like the middle of the summer, potentially, when we hit some nicer weather, I would love to take you guys on like a mediumship walkthrough, like maybe on live with us, where we kind of explore some haunted locations and we kind of talk to some dead spirits and some dead stuff. Not necessarily ghost hunting, but definitely on the communication side of things. I'm not sure if anybody's interested in that, but you might see a couple lives where we're kind of walking through buildings and stuff. So just kind of having fun and kind of covering a whole lot of stuff. So we're going to be branching out in a pretty big way. So we hope that you stick around for it, because only up from here. Like, only up from here. So I hope that everybody in here is looking forward to the good coming weather, because there's a lot in store when the weather gets like out of rainy season, because we're going to do a lot with it. So yeah, we're going all the way. Like, we might as well, Keys. We might as well. We've been talking about it, man. We might as well. So we're trudging forward and we're not stopping. So I appreciate everybody here who's spending their time, their energy with us, and the support in the community and having fun with what we build here, because this is why we do it. We do it to get away from some of the toxicity that's in the mainstream. We do it so people can be authentic. We do it so everything can be like, come as you are, kind of thing. So we appreciate you, and I will see you guys through a friend of my buddy who was my mentee, or my mentor at the time. I was his mentee for about 8 months or so, and we were best of buds. Still are, and she was a friend of his, and we got to talking, and we ended up modding for other spiritual people on here, and we ended up just chit-chatting one day. She like reached out and was like, I have a question, can you feel into something for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. And we both knew our abilities were on point because of the people we worked through, you know what I mean? And then we kind of just hit it off, and then we started talking outside of that space, and it's been up from there. It's been completely up from there. We haven't stopped, and I mean, we just haven't stopped. Like, we talk every day. But yeah, so just through friends of friends, we were after the same goal. We just wanted to get better. We just wanted to practice. We just wanted to have fun. We just wanted to do things our way and not feel stupid, not feel judged. You know what I mean? And we just wanted to help people, to be honest. And then we just kind of started talking, and we're like, you know what? I think it's time. Like, but literally, it was like, you know what? Did we just become best friends? We did. And we did do karate in the garage. It was pretty wild. And velociraptors are our favorite dinosaur. No, I'm just kidding. But I hope that you guys have a great night. I'm going to be on tomorrow. It's probably going to be around noon instead of 11:30 because I do have a client. But I am still planning on being on in the afternoon tomorrow. So I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for all the love. Thank you for over 20K, you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I will see you guys all tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Stay balanced. Don't get crazy. The energy's nothing. Transmute it. Like, really, don't panic about anything.